it's not, we are in the business of selling cookies, and you gotta sell a lot of cookies to pay the rent. Those are business realities for us, but you don't come to Milk Bar to just get a cookie. I mean, we don't have a chocolate chip cookie, right? We have a cornflake chocolate chip marshmallow cookie, and we have a chocolate chip cookie that also has pretzels and potato chips and coffee and coffee grounds, graham crackers, oats, like the whole shebang. You're not just coming out for that, you're coming for something more. And for me, when I think about the stores, when I think about the online experience, anything else that we're doing, the hardest part about it, even when we're thinking about our marketing plan, is being really intentional. But I believe like there has to be this little leap of faith that has to exist, because like once we mix the cookie and bake the cookie or package the cookie, there has to be a leap that you want to take to discover it. And it's about you and that cookie at that point. Like, we're the conduit for it, and we love being the conduit for it, but it's about this relationship that, like, eating the cookie, how it makes you feel, how giving it to someone or sending it to someone, how that delivers on an emotion, and it's usually a light emotion or a playful emotion. That's a really big part of our business that I think a lot of people don't talk about. It's really human, and it's really hard to measure, if not nearly impossible. But how do we do that, for me, is the biggest part of how we have become the business that we are today, and how we'll continue to be the business that we are in the future.
I think I have a business idea for you. Cookie drone. Would you like cookie drone? I am. You talked a little bit about celebrating failure or giving people space for failure, and it's almost become like a platitude inside organizations in corporate America. Fail fast, we want to give people room to fail, but invariably I think a lot of organizations are not set up to, I don't want to say reward failure, but certainly people feel more punished or ostracized for failure than they do celebrate it. Can you give us an example of someone or a project that didn't come to fruition at Milk Bar that nonetheless sort of led to something else, or where the employees, were rewarded or celebrated in some way? Because I do think that would be helpful to show that this is actually happening in a real way. And
so I'm going to give you one of my biggest failures over the past few years, because hopefully it answers all your questions, and I like to try as much as possible to always lead by example, because failure happens. If you're not taking risks, you're not failing. If you're not taking risks, you're not doing it right. A few years ago, the reality of working at Milk Bar is that you eat a lot of cake and a lot of cookies and a lot of pie, and you're here for all the junk food and all of the, like salty snacks and sweet snacks. But the balance of that in a day is like, I gotta get a salad, I need a green juice, I need something to balance the insane other side of my diet. And the more that I looked around the Milk Bar team in the Milk Bar office, we would either be crushing, like tasting 20 different versions of a new cookie we were trying to put on the menu, or like eating very, very healthily. And so I was like, you wanna know what? The problem with like the be good part of our diets is it always feels very sterile. It's like, there's no reason why it can't be fun to eat a salad. The reason none of us want to eat salads is because it feels boring. So like, how about we make that feel fun? And how about we make crushing green juice really funny? I don't know how you drink your green juice. I go like this because it doesn't taste good, but I know I need it. And so we came out, I pushed the team to come out with a sort of sub-line at Milk Bar called Milk Bar Life, which is like, to crush life, you want to misbehave sometimes, and sometimes you gotta be good so that you can misbehave, right? You gotta like separate out the in-betweens. But
work hard, play hard.
Yeah, work hard, play hard. So why not make it fun and make it funny to do that? And we came out with a line of 3 different juices. One was called the High Kick, one was called the Hard Body, and they were good for you juices so that you could come in, eat a compost cookie, crush a high kick around town and be good. We had dairy-free, gluten-free cookies, we had these breakfast parfaits, we had all of these things that were true to what else we were eating in a day. And I thought Milk Bar is an extension of the people that work behind it, so this is right, this is true. Everyone's talking about health and well-being, I'm sure you all have heard it time and time again. This is right, let's do it. And I really, really, really pushed us into it and pushed the team. And 8 months in, it wasn't losing money, but it was not performing. And I kept putting more of our energy into it and really like pushing us into it and pushing us into it. And finally I was like, we need to sit down and have a recap meeting about this. Like, we need to figure out what our next move is here. Like, we're not succeeding, so how do we tweak? How do we tweak? And I sat down with the team, and slowly but surely, one person with a voice and then another person with a voice was just like, people don't want to drink the green juice at Milk Bar, Christina. That's just the reality of it. They don't want that. Everything is delicious. These yogurt parfaits, they're delicious, but people don't want to come to Milk Bar for that. They want to come to Milk Bar as an escape. They don't want Milk Bar to be both things in their lives. And they called me out straight up and flat out, and I was so impressed that they were willing to do that, because it was a really big leap, right? Like, I could have very easily, from a technical where I sit on an org chart, be like, no, be quiet, sit down. That's not what we're here for. But I was willing to stop and ask the question, and that we can't recoup if it doesn't work. But also the power of honesty and trying to create a safe enough space where honesty is possible. And it's not a perfect formula on any day of the week. We're all humans. We're all scared of being called out and looking bad. We all want to look good and we all want to succeed. But we forget that the space in between is actually where we stand to win the most and where we also stand to gain the most respect.